In this question, we're told that Sally used her calculator to work out the value of a number y. The answer on her calculator display began 8.3, and we need to complete the error interval for y. And so if the answer on her calculator display began 8.3, we could have 8.3 followed by an infinite number of numbers. We could have something like 8.300004, and this still begins with 8.3. Or we could have something like 8.367928, which still also begins with 8.3. Or we could have 8.399918, which still begins with 8.3. And so we need to find the range of values for which the answer on her calculator display will begin with 8.3. And so the smallest value that will begin with 8.3 is just 8.3 itself. Anything smaller than 8.3 won't begin with 8.3. If we have something like 8.29, that begins with 8.2. And so the smallest number that can begin with 8.3 is just 8.3, with no numbers after the 3. Now to complete the error interval, we need to find the largest number that the calculator can display that still begins with 8.3. Let's look at the number we have here. We have 8.399918. Now this still begins with 8.3. If we had 8.39 recurring, this still begins with 8.3. But if we had 8.4, that doesn't begin with 8.3 anymore. Now looking at the error interval provided for us, we have a less than or equal to sign on the left hand side, and then we have a less than sign on the right hand side. Now since we have 8.3 on the left hand side, we said that y can be greater or equal to 8.3. And so we've included 8.3 in our error interval because 8.3 still begins with 8.3. Now we said that 8.39 recurring still begins with 8.3, but 8.4 doesn't begin with 8.3 anymore. And so we can put 8.4 on the right hand side. Because we have a less than symbol. We said that y is less than 8.4, but doesn't include 8.4. Which means we've said that y can be 8.39 recurring, since this is still less than 8.4. But y cannot be equal to 8.4, which is exactly what we want, because 8.4 does not begin with 8.3. And so we've found that the error interval for y is that y is greater than or equal to 8.3, but less than 8.4. And so we get 1 mark for correctly finding 8.3 and writing this on the left hand side. And we get the 2nd mark for correctly finding 8.4 and writing this on the right hand side, allowing us to get the full 2 marks needed in this question.